had a test yesterday, and today I'm going to test a bit more. I saw the video was a little bit delayed in comparison to in terms of the audio, so I'm just going to check today if if the audio is in sync with the video camera of me. So today I'm going to use the occasion to talk a little bit about how I shoot in the studio. This is from a shoot I did in March, mid of March, so it's a couple of months ago. I shot this with Hanna Arnesen. She's a model from Tromsø, and this was a shoot which is I do sometimes when we don't really have anything planned. So it's a freestyle shoot, if you like, which means that the model takes some outfits with her, and we choose when in studio what kind of clothes she's going to use. And I am also choosing what kind of light, depending on what kind of outfit she has and what kind of mood we are working through to get in the shoot. So this is a studio shoot. Yesterday I showed from a location shoot I did a week ago. And the reason I don't shoot as often as I'd like to do here in Tromsø is because it takes a lot of time to edit the photos afterwards. So the post work, the phase when you edit the photos is the most takes the most time. It's fun, but it takes a lot of time. I would also like to finish photos from the shoot before I move on to the next one, because a part of the process of shooting for me is to learn and to learn new skills, to learn new techniques, and to just get a feeling for how it is to be in the studio with a model. And since this was a freestyle shoot, we did not shoot for anyone particular apart from ourselves. I use what is called a TFP contract. It's not fair to say we use a contract, but it's based on the premise TFP, which stands for time for print. And time for print is when the model gives you a time and presence to be in the studio, and you give as payment for the time the model spends in the studio photographs that she or he can use in their own portfolio. And this was a TFP shoot in the sense that we did not shoot for anyone but ourselves, and we were just trying to learn how to be a photographer and she as a model. So this is actually one of the finished photos. I tried to do something different this time. When you are in a studio, usually you don't have the lights in the background in the photo with you. But I liked the look. I think it looked different and I wanted to do something creatively. So I did a couple of them with the flashes visible in the studio. I also done some, as I said yesterday, when you shoot on location, the light is often softer than inside a studio, because outside you have one big light source, the sun, and sometimes the sun is occluded by the sky if there's clouds, and the clouds act as a giant softbox. So if it's overcast or if you shoot in the shadows, the light will be very soft, and this impacts how you work with the skin afterwards when you do the editing. As I showed you yesterday, the photos tend to be already very soft, and there is little contrast in the face and on the skin, so there's not very much to do in terms of retouching. And in terms of retouching, what I do usually is remove blemishes, discolorations, and other things which may take away from the point of the photograph, or rather, I take away anything that is distracting. That's the point of retouching, I think, and also to be able to clarify, to concretize what you are trying to say with the photograph. Sorry. So for me, at least, retouching is the point where you chisel away. If you're a sculptor, the sculptor analogy. If you're a sculptor, you're chipping away at the stone to get something that you see in your mind. When you take photographs, taking a photograph is a first part of the sculpting. And when you're done with the first part, you have to do the little details. And this is the retouching comes into play. When you try to finish the sculpture to get exactly what you're seeing in your mind. So retouching is that kind of final part of editing a photo, when you try to get the expressions of the photo as close to as you like in your mind, what you see in your mind, if you understand. So I like this pose, I like this this crop, or rather framing of the photo. I tried to put the light on the left side so that it kind of makes the photo a little bit, creates a tension in the photo. Because when you're thinking of compositions, usually we try to avoid having a fixed composition. That is something that is in the middle all the time. That is good for some photos, I think, especially portraits. I'm really obsessed with getting proper balance and everything in sort of mirror each other on the other side of the photo. So the photo I showed yesterday of Synne with the hood partly a bit more to the other side, a little bit. So I didn't quite like that, but it was a great photo. So in this photo, I just tried to sort of insert or have the light to the right side of her, so that it creates a tension, it creates an imbalance in the photo. Because I think if I just removed the light and you can see the paper, the line where the paper background ends, if I remove all that, it will be a bit more boring photo, I think. Also, I think I like the idea when I took the pictures to show something of what goes on behind the scenes, literally. What is happening, what creates this light. In this light, actually, we did something different than usual. If you notice, you see that the light comes from below. A good tip to those who want to see how a photographer have set up the light in a photo studio is to zoom in into the eyes. I can't do it. I should try to do it now to show you better what I mean. Because if I make a composition, if I try to zoom in like this, I will show you what you can see in the photo in the eyes. Let us try to see here. So what you see here is that there's one light source in front of her, and it's below a floor softbox. It's a triangle shaped softbox which is on the floor of the photo studio in front of the model. And this light creates this soft light from below, which sometimes you need in order to lighten up the shadows beneath the chin of the model. And on this particular shoot, this particular image, I dropped the beauty dish, which is usually lighting her from above. So you see there is no light in the top part of her eye, only on the lower side. And this created a particular look which we liked. What I do in the studio is also I show the model what I'm shooting. Not at once, not every photo, but I take maybe 10, 15, 20 photos, and then I say, would you like to have a look? And then she looks, or he looks at the photos, and we can talk about how we can progress further. Maybe a bit intimidating for someone who is not used to being in a photo studio. So I sort of evaluate that in terms of how nervous they seem in front of the camera, because sometimes people are very aware, they're about how they look. And if they haven't been in a photo studio before and maybe only taken selfies with their cell phone, they have maybe a slightly jilted idea of how they look, based on you always take this kind of selfie with the mobile phone camera. It gives you a flattering angle, and maybe you don't see what other people see. You know, I don't need to, at this time at least, go into a long TED talk about how people perceive themselves according to the mobile phone technology of today. That's for a later day, maybe. So anyway, so I showed her the photos, and she really liked this look of the light, and we proceeded with shooting a couple more. And this is another one which shows more of the background, as I showed. Maybe I think I showed this beforehand. And I also see that I have a lot of photos I haven't really retouched yet, so I have to do a lot of work here. We also, this is shot, I don't know why you don't see it up here. It's supposed to be, maybe you see it in the stream, but I didn't see it when I looked at the stream from last night. You couldn't see any sort of details about the photo, which usually displayed up here where I point my cursor. It says on my screen 160th of a second at aperture 10 and ISO 50. And I also shoot this with a 35mm. Let me see. Yeah. Also, I would like to add is that you can see here in this photo, you see the beauty dish. It's on a boom, and it's located about 45 degrees, like this direction from the model, pointed directly at the face. I also use a diffuser on top of the beauty dish, so it's not just the bare beauty dish itself. It's a diffusion material which is sort of straps around the beauty dish and makes the light even softer. On the side I have two strip boxes. These are very long soft boxes, and I use them to get some light on the side of the model. I think I have maybe a photo I can show you what I think about that, or how I do it. Well, we can at least see it in this photo, because you can see it clearly on the side of her pants here. You can see the light from the strip box on her right side, and also you can see here on the hair. You can see clearly that there is light from the strip light on her right side, and this is to make the model sort of emerge from the background. In this photo and all the others of this shoot, I use a white paper background, a gray paper background, and I liked gray because it's easy color to work with. We have black, we have white, we have two other colors, which I don't remember which color they are, but I almost never use them, because once you have set a color, you can't change it. Gray is nice because it's sort of universal, and you can also using different means change the lightness of it. You can get it very bright, almost white, or you can get almost black if you like. So this is just a matter of positioning the model and using your lights and aperture of your camera. In this way you can sort of make the background change properties, if you like. So yeah, I have a lot of photos from this shoot, but I have a lot of work, so I haven't had time to properly sit down and work with this. I can show later some stuff I did, but for today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between taking a photo on location and a photo in studio. So I think I'll just stop for now. Okay.